welcome to this week's episode of Success in Women. I'm Linda.
I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to continue our talk on health and wellness trends. But we're going to be talking about different foods. But before we get started, Andrea's got her tip of the week.
Well, along that line, when you talk about spices, I found that if you want to get more pure spices, go down the international aisles in your grocery stores. And they have different ones, and they tend to be less, fiddled with because they're from, say, Europe or India or places like that, or like Jamaica. And how I discovered that was my daughter wanted to make the oxtail from Jamaica.
Oh, yes.
And my niece is married to a Jamaican, so he gave us the recipe. He actually came over, but we went and bought all the spices. And I couldn't believe the difference even in the prices.
Oh.
They were quite more reasonable than your run-of-the-mill that we buy. And they were delicious. So if you're looking for better prices and more authentic
in
spices.
the Toronto area, out in Mississauga, and I believe they have in Hamilton, they've got a grocery store called The Nations, or All Nations, or Nations. Anyway, it's massive, but the stuff that Andrea's talking about comes from all over the world. So they have so many international products, and you're right, the prices were unbelievable, and almost anything that you want to get, you could find there.
Right.
It was like, wow. I was blown away. And then they had, actually, you could buy fresh foods that they cooked.
Okay.
But also they had the whole coconuts, the green coconuts, where you just have to put the straw in and all that. I bought a few of those. They're really good, but you can't get more natural than that.
Right, and then the other store, of course, in our area is Healthy Planet.
Oh, yes. Well, I bought a number of products, not as much for food as I bought for, I'll say, skincare and toothpaste.
Shampoo and such. And before we left to come here, they were renovating, so they were putting on a whole hot foods part to the store. So you could go in and buy food already prepared. And they are all about organic and healthy, clean food. So if you're looking for an alternative, I know a lot of people say, a little bit more pricey, but if more people bought it,
you get what you're paying
for.
The
more reasonable the pricing will be.
It is a small market for that, and unfortunately. So we have to pay the difference, but it's worth it to keep yourself healthy. And it's interesting you said that about, the hot foods and stuff. When I was in Europe last summer, I went into a health food store, and of course, everything was in, I think I was in Greece, so everything was in Greek. And of course, I couldn't understand. And so I thought, I'm in a health food store. I needed to buy some sunscreen. And because of the Yuka app, which I could not use there because I didn't have internet overseas. Anyway, so I thought, I'm in a health food store. How bad can it be? So I bought it, not cheap. I get it home and I'm like, okay, can't use this anymore because the product in it, not everything at the health food store is going to be 100%. And so you must check with your Yuka, whatever that app is that we told you about recently, Yuka. Please make sure it's downloaded and you shop with that even at the health food store because they buy on good faith. But they're not always getting the products that the people say, all natural, no GMO, all this other stuff that they want to entice you to buy.
And such,
and then all of a sudden it changes the dynamic of what they were trying to promote. But there's foods out there that you should be incorporating in your day-to-day life. Now, you're not going to eat them all in one day, but you would spread them out throughout your week, throughout your month, and just giving yourself that extra good, pure food is really good. Andrew's going to get into some of them, but I have to tell you a story because quite a few years ago, one of my colleagues at work brought me to a Chinese store. I don't know if it was like a grocery store or if they had like a bit of everything in it. Anyway, because there's a lot of things that other cultures, and they just, like the Indian store, they had fresh foods and they had prepared foods and they had foods that just like a regular grocery store, but stuff that, like you said before, come from their country. And it's pure, and of course, it's a lot less expensive. Anyway, so he brings me to this store, and he said, like years ago, he had asked some of his older Chinese clients, what's the secret of their longevity? And they look so youthful. And a lot of them kept saying it was the flaxseed.
Right.
And so he brings me into this store and gets me to buy this massive bag of flaxseed. Now, you have to buy it in the actual flaxseed and grind it as you need it. So whether you grind it for a week or two, and keep it in your fridge if you're going to be grinding it ahead of time. But I was giving, stacks of it to everyone, to my mom and other members of the family. But one of the things about flaxseed, and I love flaxseed, and to this day you'll find it in my fridge. I always have flaxseed. You can put it in almost anything. I put it in a smoothie, but sometimes if I'm making like a spaghetti sauce, I'll add some in a spaghetti sauce because I didn't have a smoothie. You know what I mean?
Because sprinkle it on porridge.
Yeah, oatmeal. For sure. If I'm having oatmeal, which I have in the cupboard as well, I always put some ground flaxseed on that.
Right.
But it's got so much good fiber, it helps to regulate you and clean you out. But that's part of that healthy gut and healthy inside that will keep you healthier. And so it's preventative again.
Right.
But if you do flaxseed, so that's why I don't always have a smoothie. I'll try to find other things to use the flaxseed for.
Or you put it in, like if you're making a banana bread.
Anything.
Any baking, you can just throw it in.
Nobody's going to notice, but you're giving them something extra healthy in there.
Exactly.
And some of the foods that you can incorporate, and some of them are spices that you'll cook with. Other of them are just things that you should be.
As I mentioned her before, if you would like, and you should, download Barbara O'Neill. So she's a natural advocate, and she's what happened was when her baby was very young, the baby had gotten sick with some kind of a
ear infection or something. I remember hearing I saw her.
She had the baby on like around 2 rounds of antibiotics, and nothing was happening. So next door was an older woman that, Barbara talked to her. She went to her and she said, what would you do for this? And she told her what to do. And that night, the coughing stopped, everything cleared up naturally. And that sent her on her journey. Now she is world renowned. She does retreats, she does speeches, talks, podcasts, you name it. Download her and listen to her. So she advocates natural foods. Number 1, garlic. Garlic is a natural antibiotic. She says it's, I can't remember how many times stronger than like tetracycline and those type of things that are commonly prescribed. And what she says is, it's so easy to use.
It is.
And you can just grate it on your baked potato, grate it on your eggs, chop it up in some soup. My
ex-husband used to roast the whole head and then put it in the mashed potatoes.
Right.
And then even today, when I served you lunch, I put garlic in the ground beef when I was making the shepherd's pie.
I don't think there's anything I cook without it, but to add on the fresh grated, I've never really done. But the other day, when she said that, I did it. So I have every morning, and this is another thing, eggs, your protein. But Dr. Gundry, another person that I follow, says they must be pasture raised, not even cage free, free range, because he says that could mean 10 minutes a day. But if they're pasture raised, and even Gary,
you're talking about eggs now.
Eggs.
No, because you were talking about garlic. So I was saying,
wait, I'm not finished. So I buy that. So because I was talking about eggs, I'm telling you, try. I know they're more expensive, but in the long run, because those chickens are allowed to run around and eat natural foods. So the other superfood going on now is avocados. So you smash an avocado and you put it on a piece of toast with your egg, and then you grate the garlic. And I did it that morning. Was it good? So now I've gotten my avocado, my protein, my my garlic.
But even the breads you buy are on a healthier bread that you know, first of all, that's acceptable by Weight Watchers, but also in the ingredients that they
for
have.
Your gut.
For your gut.
Because wheat, dairy, wheat and dairy are two things you should get rid of.
And yet I drink my milk, and she's always saying about, I'm on a milk kill.
But you should do coconut milk. It's one of the best things
I
for
do drink
you.
coconut as well. I actually just ran out. I had coconut water, but the real coconut water. And I just ran out actually of that, and I have to buy more.
Coconut milk is very good for you, as are coconuts.
Yeah.
Because it's a fat that doesn't absorb in your body. It helps eliminate fat from your body. And avocado also smashes the fat in your body.
So interestingly enough, I'm going to tell you two things. One is I joined HelloFresh to get some of my groceries so I could, more for meal planning. So you get to select the meals that you want. And they say they're all fresh produce and vegetables and, not GMO type products. So I figure I'm eating pretty clean. It gives me something to make and there's no waste. So one of the things that they've done is they give you a free breakfast. And with my last order, I got a breakfast of these egg bits or bites or cups that you can make, which my brother had just put me onto that. But so you make these things, and what you do is put the guacamole, which is all avocado, on the top. These breakfast things that they sent. So you've got the spicy mayo on the bottom, you've got the tomato and cheese. Anyway, it was really healthy and really good for a breakfast. And I rarely eat breakfast. Well, matter of fact, I did make it for my lunch. But anyway, the point was, it was with the avocado. And I couldn't believe, because they give you only a limited selection of what they're going to send you for the breakfast food. But they're giving it to you complimentary. So that was one thing. But I have to tell you something funny. Avocados in my life started back in 1987.
Wow.
A number of us went back for my aunt's wedding anniversary. And my cousin owned an avocado ranch. And funny enough, we got to try avocados fresh from, right off his trees. Beautiful. What was interesting, my mother, and I mean, obviously she's older than I am, or was, she's passed, but she was older than I am. So even longer in her life, never trying avocados, because that's not something that they ate growing up.
No.
Anyway, so my cousin had put out this spread and then had put a big hunk of avocado in the middle as a garnish kind of thing.
Okay.
And because we've been eating it at his place, like the fresh avocado, my mother loved it. And so she was one of the first in line when we're going through the table, and she takes her fork and takes the whole, I'm going to say, centerpiece of the avocado and put it on her plate. She loved it so much, and they didn't have it out everywhere. They were using that day as a garnish. But avocado is so tasty and so good. And I bite a lot, and I put olive oil, some balsamic vinegar glaze. I like the thicker one. You can put the vinegar or the glaze, but I like the thicker one. And you put some salt and pepper. What a nice snack that is.
And now
healthy fats.
Now we know that avocado is a very healthy fat. So they say to avoid the canola oils because they're so
I think they're genetically
processed,
modified. Yes.
Sunflower, all the nut oils are not supposed to be good for you. So
even though they had told us at one point.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like the whole wheat breads and all that, they're no good for us. The sourdough bread,
yes.
And the sprouted bread. So I buy the Ezekiel bread, so I know that it's the sprouted bread, and it's very delicious. So
and
good
it came
for
up
you.
good on the rating, remember?
Yes, very good.
Yep.
So those are things to think about and research. Another good, obviously, is onion. And onion is not only good for your inner body, but people are using it. So Barbara talks about this if you have a bad cough. So what she does is she dices, say, a red onion, puts it in a jar with 2 or 3 tablespoons of very high-end honey. And you let that sit for maybe 6 hours, and you'll see a syrup start to develop.
Wow.
And you take that when you have a first sign of a cough, a teaspoon, and it works like magic. I made some for Eddie before Christmas when he had a cough. And he's like,
how was it?
But it was really good.
Yeah.
Very tasty.
Wow.
Because all you taste is the honey.
Okay.
It's got a little nip, but it really helps with the
But
cough.
it has to be a good quality honey, not a processed honey.
Right. And the other thing she recommends is putting onion on your feet. So wrap an onion on the bottom of your foot before you go to bed, and it'll stop the coughing.
Oh.
So these are things we need to do for ourselves. We need to look at for natural ways to help. This castor oil now that's really making a comeback.
Really trending.
Really trending. And you put it on your eye. When I go to bed, I put it on my eyelids to prevent cataracts and to, strengthen your eyes. And she's saying if you have lumps or bumps or even
Skin
tags and such, you make these little castor oil packs, compacts, and you put them on, and it might take a while for it to get rid of something, but it'll naturally do that. So that's something really big right now. And
it's I know that castor oil, at least I know the Jamaican one, is supposed to be good for the hair.
Oh yes.
Yes.
For everything. It's amazing how multifunctional it is.
Well, something, people talk about apple cider vinegar for weight loss, and having a tablespoon and in a glass of water, whatever, you don't drink it pure. Anyway, so one of the things recently I had been reading is that apple cider vinegar is also good for like a rinse almost in your hair. But you're not actually going to rinse it out. So almost when you've towel dried your hair, you put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in water and kind of just massage it in and leave it in. I have to tell you, after I had washed my hair and did that, and I let it naturally dry, wasn't going anywhere, I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, my hair not only felt good, but it looked healthier.
Really?
It looked shinier. And I'm like, and I don't always remember to do it. Actually, back in Canada, I keep this little cup in my bathtub so that I remember that I have to fill it up with the apple cider vinegar. Right. So because I only rethought about it again, I put something in my bathroom now so that hopefully when I wash my hair, because I only do that a couple times a week, but to remember to go and get it so I can put that in. And if I don't and I'm towel dried, it's fine because again, you're towel drying your hair anyway when you put it on. So you don't want a whole lot because you don't want it dripping down you. But oh my God.
And you don't smell anything like the vinegar smell?
No, I guess it must dissipate very quickly because no one's noticed it.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah, but it's apparently good for your hair. But the Jamaican castor oil, they said, just massage that in kind of thing.
Overnight.
And then, yes, I was going to say.
Quite a bit.
So they said you can do that and then put a shower cap or something, go to bed, and then you can, wash it out, I guess, in the morning. But it would actually have a chance to work it. I haven't done that one yet, but I plan to do that. But I know with the castor oil, I mean, that used to be in parents' medicine cabinets, and then for many years, nothing. And all of a sudden, we hear about all the benefits.
You know why? Because now people are getting interested.
Back to
basics, back to natural, because so much sickness out there, and we're finally figuring it out where it's coming from. We're ingesting it.
So one of the things that my sister introduced me to, and Andrea and I just found this in Florida, so I'm going to buy, I didn't buy it, but I'm going to buy it, is a jar of sour sop fruit.
Yes.
And I've had the sour sop tea that my sister had made for me when I was at her place.
I hadn't heard of it.
Exactly. And so all of a sudden it's becoming so popular that sometimes the shelves are empty when you want to go buy the actual fresh fruit, but it's such a healthy fruit.
And where is it from?
Jamaica. And they said they hardly have cancer in Jamaica
we
because
were just there.
We were there recently.
Linda asked our tour guide about this.
The sour sop, because it's hard to get in Canada. Right. And there's only certain stores that even carry it. But then a lot of times when they get their shipment in, it's gone. Because people know. But they tell you to eat your fruits and vegetables. A lot of the fruits are not so good anymore. But these are natural fruits coming from Jamaica. There's only so many that they're shipping. But they're really, my sister goes, it tastes like pineapple and banana and melon, all kind of rolled in one. So now they've got this jar that we just found by accident. And I thought, oh my God, we have to try it. So we'll let you know how that goes next time we buy it. I'm going to refrigerate it because I would think it would be like having dried peaches or pears or something, and see how that goes. But it's a healthy,
good for cancer.
Very good for your body.
Good. Right.
And that's why Jamaicans in general, because they eat this on a regular basis, are healthy people. As a nation, they have very, very low cancer rates, but they're eating more things that are natural. Yeah.
Now, the other thing trending right now is the bone broth.
Oh my God. So every time I go visit my sister, because I cannot find it in Toronto in the area that I live in, and I live next to Whole Foods. And I would have thought Whole Foods, because they have a place where you can get foods, that they would definitely have that, just like a coffee shop. They have a coffee bar.
Healthy Planet.
Well, no, that's not next to me.
Oh, okay.
So when I go to my sister's, and my sister drinks this almost every day, but when I go, every time and every day that I'm there, we go and get our bone broth. It's so good. And I know you can make it, but they say if you're going to make it, you know, you make a big pot of it, but you should consume it within about, 5 days. Well, the thing is, because in Toronto, I don't have a freezer. I live in a very tiny apartment with a very tiny fridge, and the freezer on top doesn't really keep things frozen, but it's very tiny. But bone broth is one of my absolute favorite drinks.
Right.
And if I could find that even here in Florida where they sell a good one, because they're not all good and they're not all equal.
No.
But yes, bone broth, Andrea.
That's a good one trending.
Do they have that at Healthy Planet? Or is that going to be on the new hot thing that they're doing?
Well, they have it in the bags.
Oh, no, it's not. I got it.
Or the box or the bags.
I have bought from Whole Foods something where you add water to the bone broth. Oh, I couldn't drink it. It was disgusting. Okay. And I know they got different brands, but no, this is where they make it fresh.
But you know how you buy the other day when you bought the soup that we had?
Oh, yes, in the Tetra Packs.
Yes.
Yeah, butternut squash.
Broth in that also.
I've not tried that one.
Organic. But make sure, it has to be organic.
Yes.
And all that written on it. And the meat has to be...
oh, yeah. Well, you'd want to get it from a good butcher.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'd want it because you got to make sure that they are treating their animals in a very healthy, humane way.
Grass-fed.
Yes.
It's like when you buy your butter.
Yes.
You want to try and find the grass-fed. Now I'm hooked on grass-fed cream for my coffee.
Oh, good.
So the more you get into it, the more you start to see those foods available, and you want them because it's almost impossible now to eat things that aren't organic.
Exactly.
Aren't, like I can't buy a regular carton of eggs anymore. I just can't do it.
I haven't for quite a while.
I know better.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. If you know the
Once
difference, it's hard. Yes.
It's hard to unknow.
Yes. And I've been buying the free range eggs and all that stuff. And I've had to pay, but I'm one person.
Yeah.
And for me, it was never an issue. And I know that it's more expensive. But again, what you put in, it is all relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on some of the other things trending, the spices, is this turmeric.
Oh, yes.
And
I have to learn recipes more.
I haven't used it myself. I bought at Healthy Planet. It was an alternative to coffee, and it was a turmeric something or other. But oh no, I couldn't drink it. Yeah. I returned it. So there's got to be a way to use it. The other things that I do use, spices that are trending and very healthy right now, are cinnamon and cloves. So cloves are very healthy for the body.
I know, and I don't like them at all.
Oh my goodness, I love them.
I know.
I put them in my coffee. I take 2 or 3
don't like them.
Cloves, and I drop them in my coffee. I put them in some of my baking. The cinnamon, I could drink cinnamon. I love it so much. I put it in everything. And cinnamon's good for diabetes, for blood pressure.
Yes.
And the other thing that Barbara talks about a lot, Celtic salt.
Mm.
So Celtic salt is the highest mineral salt on the planet. And what she tells you to do to get the benefits is every time you take a sip of water, and you should be drinking lots of pure filtered water per day, you take a little crystal. Just a crystal.
It tastes good though.
It does.
Oh my God, I was amazed. Andrea gave me some.
And you sip the water.
And it's good.
And it releases all these minerals. The minerals take the water because basically people drink water, it just goes right through you.
Yeah.
And they'll say that, oh, I can't drink water, it swells me up. Well, it's because the body's not absorbing it like it should. But when you take the Celtic salt, put it on your tongue, and you sip the water all day long, the salt grabs the water, brings it to the cells where it needs to be. And you'll find the swelling going down.
I got my nephew to some of them too, yeah. Oh my God.
And if you can't find the Celtic, because it was hard to find in Canada. I found it here in Florida easier. And you can try the Himalayan salt, but again, it doesn't have as many minerals. It is high in minerals, but there's so many fake Himalayan salts out there. You have to be 100% sure you're getting the real McCoy.
It's true.
Okay. Now the other thing she talks about is cayenne pepper.
Oh my God, I'm even reading a lot more about that as well.
For your heart.
Oh, the benefits.
Your blood flow. She's saying, where you know how people say they take, if they're having signs of a heart attack or whatever, they take an aspirin. She goes, take a teaspoon of cayenne and get it down them, and it'll poof.
Wow.
Everything will just get into place. Yeah, now maybe you can mix it with water. Now I put it instead of black pepper, I try to use that as much as I can. I love the flavor of cayenne pepper. I put it on my eggs, my food, whatever.
I have to buy some. I do have it back in Canada. I don't have it here. But I'm reading so much about it that, you know what, it's one of those basic things. Why not?
You know, it's not like weird things that we don't know about and we can't find. This is all stuff we use all the time.
Yeah.
And we just need to use more of it and more on a daily basis. You know, beets. Beets are another big thing right now. I see commercials every day for this beet powder for heart health. Yeah, it's on. Well, you know.
Again, but the powder, how do you know though? I'd rather eat the beets.
I know. Well, and you can. Yeah. And some people can't tolerate beets.
Oh.
Right? They don't like the taste or the look. Or when I was growing up, I couldn't stand the looks of them.
Oh.
The red just scared me to death. My parents ate it all the time. Now I love beets, and especially borscht, the Polish soup.
Yeah.
The beet soup. I love it. Actually, I had some this morning. I had my girlfriend bought me a box of it, and I had some, and I did the yucca on it, and it was good. Very good. So that's another great thing. What else were they talking about? There's so many things, and
yes, even certain nuts and stuff you should have. You know, walnuts, when you want to snack,
walnuts, peanuts are supposedly the worst thing for your body, and yet, almonds.
I have to say, Andrea, we bought recently.
We love peanut
butter, and we bought one of the most. Oh,
it was
very tasty. Oh my God.
And it was natural.
Yes. Came up high on the Yuka.
Yeah.
And honey, yes. It had honey in it. Oh my God.
We were practically raised on peanut butter. We can't help but love it. It's just one of our staples.
Yes. And thank God we don't have allergies to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there are some nuts that are way more beneficial for you than others. And walnuts are number one on the list. Very good for you, for your brain. Somebody said to me once, well, you just have to look at them. They look like a brain. So they're good for your brain.
That's true. But they kind of look like part of your insides as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's another very good thing. Now, of course, your greens, the darker, the better.
Yes. So we were talking about kale because for a while, you know, it was really trending. Kale salads, and you could buy the kale salads all mixed in the package and stuff. And for the longest time, I would buy that every week.
I tried it every which way. I tried making kale chips and doing this, and no, I couldn't deal with it.
In the end, though, that was one thing I really got tired of very quickly. Mm-hmm. But some people I know have been putting kale in their green smoothies.
Oh, okay.
And they said you don't really taste the taste and stuff like that. So I haven't tried that. But kale comes up really high, but it's not one of my favorite green things. But I like spinach, and spinach is and that's really high up there.
Right. And the other trending vegetable, cauliflower. Cauliflower pizza crust.
Oh, yeah.
Cauliflower rice.
Cauliflower mashed potatoes.
You can do so much with cauliflower. Now, I do it. I love cauliflower, and I've done all of it. The mashed potatoes, I made pizza crust, I've done it all.
Wow.
I don't care what they say. It doesn't taste like mashed potatoes.
Right. And I was going to say that because somebody says, oh, you can't tell the difference.
Oh, yes, you can.
I could.
But if you like the flavor of cauliflower, and of course, I put like a little bit of butter or cheese or whatever. It tastes really good. It doesn't taste
but
like
it doesn't taste like mashed potato.
It doesn't taste like a real mashed potato, but it's a good
alternative.
Substitute.
Yep.
And if you're making like a stir fry and you cook all your vegetables and whatnot, then you throw in the riced cauliflower. It gives it a little bit more texture. So there's ways of using it, and it is healthier for you than mashed
so you know what? Once in a while you make the change. Then I don't eat mashed potatoes that often, so that would be good.
Yeah,
I think just to even have that texture. And matter of fact, I used to hear about a lot of mothers how they got creative, mixing in different vegetables in other foods that kids liked to get their children enough vegetables because they never wanted to eat it if it was a vegetable.
Well, Eddie's mom, she was before her time. But she used to make the homemade chicken broth, but she would put in it the onion, the carrot, the celery, whatever vegetable she had, and then she pureed it.
Oh.
She pureed the whole thing. We froze it. And then when the kids came home from school, she would just boil it on the stove and throw in the little pastinas. Oh. They just thought they were having chicken soup.
Yeah.
And they were getting all this good stuff. There's ways to do it.
Yes, there are ways. Yeah.
So, of course, broccoli's good for you. It's a very good, because not all vegetables are great for you. Like eggplant.
Corn is bad.
Corn, beans. Some of the beans are bad, very bad for your gut. You have to research your foods and figure out what works for you, what helps you be regular. And the other good thing was lemons, lemon to help detoxify the liver. Yeah. So like Linda was saying, with the lemon water, squeeze it on some of your food, your salads, whatever. Yesterday I was at my friend's and we made kapuska, the Polish cabbage with some bacon. It's delicious.
So good.
And at the end, that's what we did. We squeezed lemon all over it to give it flavor. But I thought, oh, this is good because it'll help, with the digestion. So that's what we're saying. Now it's so out there. Before, maybe 20, 30 years ago, we didn't know a lot about
and we didn't have the internet.
And we didn't have the internet.
Right.
Now there's no excuse.
No.
We should be looking up things. Say you have, gas, or you have acid reflux or whatever. Google it first. Yeah. What can I do naturally instead of running to the doctor and getting medication? Because they don't cure it.
No.
They just mask
and matter of fact,
symptoms.
my physiotherapist always said, he goes, don't do things to mask. Yeah. He said, you got to find out what's the cause and how you can treat it to cure it.
To make your body cure it.
Yes.
Because our bodies can cure everything.
Pretty well.
If we give it the right nutrition.
Right.
And that's what we need to do.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Success in Women, and we plan to continue because part of your success, again, is that healthy living.
Absolutely.
And so we will continue on this next week, but we hope that you we hope you share,
and please subscribe.
2 thumbs up.
Have a great week, ladies.
I'm Linda. I'm Andrea.
No, she's not. I am.
No, that's right. She's Andrea. I'm Linda.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.